life has done what life does and left me with not a lot of time and energy to do much in the garden this year. I wanted to show you this. This is my favorite wind chime. Listen to that. So nice. So anyway, I thought I'd do a walkthrough of the jungle. I moved the strawberries over here this year, and you can kind of see them in there. But there's a lot of volunteer marigolds, like a lot of them. But there's some more strawberries out that way. I did put a couple Roma San Marzanos in there. They're in there somewhere. You can kind of see it back there. The bees are appreciating my lack of time this year, because that means more random flowers for them. Some volunteer hollyhocks. Sunflowers, I planted short sunflowers in the holes. I've got a few, it's hard to tell because there's a hollyhock there, hollyhock there. I think this was a teddy bear, but I don't know, the bugs are really bad, so nothing really did much. It's another one. I might plant more of these next year, sort of the short but large heads along there, because this year all this was just the volunteer, like, kind of not good sunflowers. I had planted some Russian mammoths in there, but there's so many weeds, nothing came up, and so I think I have to do a better job at just yanking out all these volunteers. So that was that, and I've even cut some down. And my other thought too is that maybe I put the fence on the inside of the sunflowers because they tip, but if I'm doing short ones, then maybe I don't have to. The tomato jungle. I had planted just a thick row of cherry tomatoes, old seeds, whatever, throw them in, didn't thin them down. At one point, a pretty big storm came through and like kind of smashed them all down, but they all came back with a vengeance all the way up the trellis, all the way across the thing, both sides. Lots of cherry tomatoes. The pollinator garden is a bit of a sad state. I added a couple perennials this year. Lupine, dug up a echinacea and put that in there. And I have a columbine over here. There were things that are supposed to be in here that never came up. These rudbeckia just like died off. I yanked a ton of them out, so there was hardly any. Then the ones that were there, I don't know if they got a disease or what happened, but they kind of died out. My poor little sleeping gnome was buried in sand or in dirt by ants. I did get around to, the kids made these plant markers, so I put those in some of these perennials. I had originally done, and I don't know if you can find, oh here, these guys for the spring bulbs. But here you can see grass, so much grass. But I tried to mark where things are so I don't accidentally yank them out in the spring. So that was a little less than great. Some more volunteer marigolds. These are looking kind of nice. And I had some peppers in here. And these were onions that I didn't pick last year, and I just left them for this year. And they're kind of, they look prehistoric. They're just gigantic. And I've talked about this guy before. This Cosmos. This thing is absolute monster. I don't know if you can tell, but down through here, this stem is just enormous. It's thick. It's like this big around. It still doesn't have flowers on it. It does finally have buds, but I don't know what makes this thing like so much bigger than any other Cosmos that I plant. And it comes back every year, but not in the same spot. So it was over on the other side last year. I'm assuming it's just reseeding itself, but why is this one reseeding into some sort of mutant? I don't know. I left a lot of stuff in the aisles because it was flowers. I didn't want the borage in my bed, but it grew out here. Bees love it. Beans going good. I had peas in the spring. I planted a second round of them, but they might be getting too shaded. The dill was pretty good this year. It was growing everywhere but the bed. But I sprinkled a bunch of seeds now, so now I'm getting another round. So Hopefully in a week or two, these will be big enough to pick for the farmer's market. People have been asking. The carrots, have not gotten around to picking them. There's a little monarch, or no, is that a monarch or is that a swallowtail? Now I'm second guessing myself. Anyway, never picked these guys this year. I'll get around to it. More beans. This side of the beans was volunteer from last year because this was where my peas were. I've gotten, I don't know, 20, 30, maybe 40 pounds of beans so far this year. The lettuce did okay. The sorrel, it used to be a bunch and it just ended up being this one guy. He kind of got big once I pulled all the weeds. Oh, this was the other. I should go this way. We've talked about this before. The massive jungle of raspberries that definitely needs to be pruned. Growing all the way into my corn. The corn isn't the greatest. This is popcorn, like the rainbow, no, what is it? Anyway, it's like the colored popcorn. And you can see the golden raspberries are just putting on another round of berries. It's very hard to get back there. So that round might be for the critters. Maybe I know there's a lot of the goldfinches really love the sunflowers. So the corn is, skinny. It's always pretty small, this kind of corn. And it does have some kernels in there, so waiting a little longer before I pick those. They're not even close to dry. What else? The apple tree, which is this one, was just full of apples. It's ridiculous how many apples this thing had on it. And I should have went through and, picked them all except for one per bunch. But then the hail kind of dented everything, so everything's a little more susceptible to bugs and whatnot. There's enough. I've gotten several buckets out of here for, pies and things, and we've eaten a bunch that aren't so bad. But the poor tree is like, it rains so much and the wind blows and it gets really crooked. The other apple tree did not have any apples this year, but she's really growing, doing good. The kids, I just weeded the volunteer spider flowers out of the kids' beds. One did a little better than the other. This one had so many spider flowers, it was just ridiculous. I threw some seeds in these at the last minute and got some snapdragons and some zinnias. This is a volunteer rudbeckia that died out. I thought there was something else in here and it never came up, so I didn't really weed it or anything. Just a few, some marigolds and whatnot. And my indoor plants that I stuck outside for the summer. This guy, I think, is finally starting to come back to life. And my Christmas cactus, which I pruned the heck out of it, was looking really bad, but I think she's going. So I just have to figure out where I'm going to put that inside. Now here's my favorite part. This is my jungle of flowers, and the butterflies are really loving it. They're all over the place. This is where I just mixed a whole bunch of, I just had, I don't know how many packs of seeds. Put them all together in some sand and spread it on this whole side of the bed. My plan was to pick more of these volunteer sunflowers and get them out of here because the garlic was in the middle and I sort of failed at that. But these look so nice. Love it. I'm deadheading everything and saving it for next year. Gonna do the same thing. I think by the time I got to this end, it got a little bit thinner. Definitely did by the time I got to the other side of the garden. These guys, the bachelor buttons were the whole thing was full of bachelor buttons, and then the wind all blew them over. And they looked pretty sad. And I don't know if I should cut them all back or what, but the calendula is starting to come. There's some hollyhocks. The blanket flowers finally came back. On this side, I had red potatoes, and I went through and picked the top ones but I still have to go in. I think I need to get rid of the sunflowers first and then go in with the pitchfork and dig up the rest, whatever's left. Rhubarb did good this year. The bottle gourds and the loofah. I just planted from seed. The bottle gourds are actually putting something on, but they're really not spreading as much. The loofah, obviously there's not going to be enough time for these guys, but what can you do? I'm thinking next year I do those green beans on here because they're just like, they just keep growing. So if I do green beans here, I can do the bottle gourds on one of the ones over there maybe. This thing was nothing. I put a few flowers in and like one came up. So I'm not sure what to do with this yet. This side is sweet potatoes, which took a long time to get going. And I think by the time I got the slips, it was late May, maybe. So I don't know that I'm going to actually get any sweet potatoes out of it, but they are finally starting to fill in. There was more garlic on this side. So this side, I got the garlic out before it was too late, but they were all very small. Probably weed problem. This side, I mean, it just kept raining and raining and raining. I couldn't get a chance to get out here. When I finally got out here, these were really big heads of garlic, but they were all the paper was off of them because they had been in the ground so long, too long. So I'm hoping I can use those large ones to plant for next year. But I'm kind of wondering if I should just do one bed of that. Like, I like the potatoes out here. I think that worked out okay. And I like the flowers on that side right by the driveway. If I can keep the sunflowers down and just do potatoes and flowers over there and do garlic, and I don't know if I'll try sweet potatoes again. Just do the garlic over here, then maybe weeding will be a little easier. I did do the same with the flowers on this side, but you can see the sunflowers are all tipped that way, and I ran out. I didn't have as many seeds on this side, so it's not as great. So probably one more year of no pumpkins or anything. But that's kind of where the jungle is at this year. I think maybe if I trim this back, and Floricane, Primocane, blah, 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 I don't know. And I just don't have the energy to figure it out. So I think I'm just going to take a hedge trimmer and go at it. I didn't want to do it too soon because I had a lot of garden spiders that were making homes in here, and anything to get rid of all the flies and mosquitoes this year is okay in my book. With all the rain, the bugs have just been real bad. So that's where she's at. Very lazy. Maybe not lazy, but too busy to get too much to it. So the theme is survival of the fittest. This was ranunculus. Clearly is not any longer. So happy mid-September.